Hi everyone, it's Library Linda, and I'd like to welcome you to this week's edition of Did You Know? Did you know? On May 16th of 1929 was the date of the very first Academy Award ceremony. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Science was started in 1927 as a nonprofit dedicated to the advancement and improvement of the film industry. At the first award dinner, 250 people attended in the Blossom Room at the Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood. Winners were notified in advance, and it wasn't until 1942 they started using sealed envelopes. Did you know, on May 17th of 1792, that the New York Stock Exchange was established? 24 merchants and brokers agreed to this establishment, and in fair weather they operated under a buttonwood tree on Wall Street. When the weather was bad, they conducted their business in a coffee shop. Did you know May 17th of 1875 was the date of the very first running of the Kentucky Derby? 10,000 fans attended the competition that was for 3-year-old thoroughbreds on the 1.5-mile track. Since then, the track has been shortened to 1.25 mile, or 2 kilometers. Meriwether Clark, who was the grandson of William Clark of the Lewis and Clark expedition, was instrumental in acquiring the land from the Churchill family to establish Churchill Downs. It's dubbed the fastest 2 minutes in sports and is the first leg of the Triple Crown in horse racing. Aristides was the winner of that first race with a time of 2 minutes and 37.75 seconds, but the record holder is Secretariat at the time of 1 minute 59.4 seconds set in 1973. Did you know on May 18th of 1980, the deadliest and the most economically destructive volcanic event in U.S. history occurred? An earthquake measuring 5.1 on the Richter scale is what caused Mount St. Helens in Washington to erupt 3 times within 24 hours. An avalanche of debris caused the destruction of 47 bridges, 200 homes, 15 miles of railroad track, 185 miles of highway, and unfortunately, 57 people lost their lives. After the eruption, the elevation had been reduced by 1,300 feet, and the crater that was left was over a mile wide. Did you know that on May 20th of 1873, San Francisco businessman Levi Strauss and Reno, Nevada tailor Jacob Davis received a patent for their blue jeans? Jacob had the idea for pants that were reinforced with rivets, and he wrote a letter to Levi Strauss, who financially backed the project. By 1890, the Levi's brand 501 button-fly blue jeans became their best seller. Did you know, on May 21st of 1881, the American Red Cross was founded? Clara Barton, who was the American Red Cross's first president, worked with the sick and the wounded during the Civil War, and she became known as the Angel of the Battlefield. The International Red Cross was formed in Geneva, Switzerland, by a wealthy businessman, Henri Dunant, after seeing the aftermath of the Battle of Solferino. He gathered people from nearby villages and asked for food and clothing and water for the wounded. What started with 16 European nations as an organization to provide humanitarian relief where needed has now become an international nonprofit organization that provides disaster relief home and abroad. Did you know that in 2006, Congress proclaimed that every 3rd Friday of May should be Endangered Species Day? It's to be a celebration of the nation's wildlife and wild places, and to learn the importance of protecting threatened and endangered species. Did you know May 22nd of 1967 was the date of the premiere of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? Fred Rogers used puppets and friends in the neighborhood to help children feel good about who they are, and helped kids to understand and encourage them to talk about feelings and learn to handle relationships with other people and learn new experiences, and he even talked honestly about difficult subjects. Well, it's been a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and I hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Did You Know? And I'll be back when the week is new, and I'll have more ideas for you. So I hope you join me next week. Until then, bye-bye.